Mm.
because a lot of people think they have to have all of these boxes checked to get a job. And it's not that way. We see people now that are in week 5 or 6 in the academy that are applying for roles and getting interviews.
Yeah.
And
What's going on, guys? It's Suleiman here, and welcome back to the Cloud Engineer Academy testimonial channel. We're back with another student testimonial. In this one, we're going to hear from Alex, who was a helicopter pilot turned AWS cloud engineer and has actually been hired by myself. He's part of my team. He works for me in the academy and for my AI cloud security consultancy. And he's going to reveal everything that he did, progress from pilot to cloud engineer, to stand out from all the other people around the world, what he did to really grow, learn, and get hired by yours truly. So hopefully you enjoy this. Go watch it. Let me know what you think and drop a comment down below for Alex, congratulating him on his new opportunity with Tech with Suleiman. Crazy. Enjoy, guys. Hopefully see you soon. Ciao, ciao.
So, Alex, welcome to the Academy Testimonial channel. You're going to get me very, very famous after this. Yeah, let's kick things off. How was your Academy experience?
yeah, it was really good. I think that for me, I came from a little bit of a different background, right? I didn't really come from tech. So I was a helicopter pilot for about 10 years. So I didn't really know what to expect for some sort of boot camp. I have never been to a boot camp before. So I really liked the idea that I was able to just kind of dive right in and get after some of the content. And it wasn't this like long, lengthy, theory-based type of deal. Like there was a good mix of theory and workshops and kind of these exercises because I'm a hands-on learner and I mean I can do the death by PowerPoint if I really need to, but the great thing about the academy when I first dived in, I just realized that this was different than some of the other kind of online academies or online courses that I had taken before, not technically boot camps, but just like these, little presentation type
Yeah,
type schools.
nice, nice. And what sparked your interest into tech and specifically cloud? Because there's loads of areas in tech, right? Software, DevOps, networking, all this different adjacent opportunities. So, what made you want to dive into the cloud specifically?
Yeah, so I've been kind of a geeky type of guy my entire life. I've loved going into computers, playing video games when I was real young, and then just trying to kind of figure out these like different automation hacks on my own. And so I just kind of became this go-to guy as I kind of grew up and started having more roles and responsibilities, especially in the aviation industry, to create like these automated scripts to handle like Excel spreadsheets and finances and all of those things. And so I actually had a rare opportunity to kind of build an application for my friend's tour company.
Mhm.
And I had no idea what I was doing. I've never been in software development or anything like that. And so I kind of built this kind of mock app in Google Sheets and I used AI to code like the back end functions and made it kind of cool. But I realized that some of the functionality I needed for the functionality to work, I needed to deploy it on the cloud. I needed a web server. And I had no idea what that even meant. So I was able to kind of figure out what is the cloud. And I first deployed the application on Heroku. And it's just kind of like this, web server, based service, but it's not like a big name, cloud provider like AWS or Azure or GCP. And it worked, but it was really slow, really clunky. And then I kind of investigated a little bit more on how to fix that. And then along comes AWS, right? So I was like, okay, I have no idea what AWS is. Let me try to take a dive on this. So, I was able to deploy it on AWS and I was like, oh, I really like this. I really like the idea of cloud and kind of this kind of tech journey. So that's how I got into it. But again, it was just all self-taught. And I really wanted that fundamental knowledge to be able to know what I'm doing and maybe improve the application more and make it more efficient, more cost effective, and all of those things.
Okay, it makes sense. And did you come across doing certifications versus building cloud projects? And how did the academy give you that experience?
Yeah. So when I first kind of deployed this application on AWS, I knew that I wanted to shift gears from aviation to cloud because, one, I wanted to be home more with my family. I wanted a remote job, right? And so, some advice that I had from one of my friends who was doing tech, and actually his boss said, if you want to start kind of, get the ball rolling and be recognized, start to at least get some beginner certifications. And
Mm.
so I actually got my cloud practitioner certification before I joined the academy. But when I got that certification, I said, well, that was kind of easy. I want to validate my knowledge a little bit more. So I started investigating, these, how to become a cloud engineer. And sure enough, you popped up on YouTube,
Yeah.
and that was really the main thing, that the main thing that I think was different than just going out getting a certification, or just going out and trying to find, academy, or trying to find a job, is I really resonated with how that you were building the YouTube channel. And I think that for anybody kind of looking to get into this, you can go the certification route, but I really think that you need to go out and find somebody, or find a program that resonates with you. So when I was watching you kind of talk about cloud, everything that you were saying made sense, and it wasn't too technically hard to digest.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I found you. And then, it was kind of interesting, right? Because I left I don't know if you remember, but I left a comment on your YouTube video
Yeah.
saying, hey, if I kind of shine in the academy, is there any chance that I can work with you? Wasn't expecting any type of response. And this was before I even decided to join your academy. And what actually made me purchase the academy that day was your response to me saying, can't make any promises, but we're always looking for talent. And
Yeah.
that blew me away, because listen, I mean, I comment on a lot of videos, and a lot of content creators don't take the time of day to respond to all the comments. And then I liked the idea that you were open to being able to kind of maybe investigate people, and see their worth and their talent. If you're going to give me a shot, I'm going to go all in. And
Yeah.
here I am.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get to that shortly, right? The journey that you've kind of been on. But what made you choose the academy specifically, right? Because there's lots of training and cloud academy, and what resonated with you the most of the cloud engineer academy?
Yeah, I think the YouTube really spoke to me, because there's not a lot of people showcasing their academy, I think, in a way that you are. I think that you're hitting the main points for me that were important. What is cloud? How is it affecting the industry? Where is the industry going?
Mm.
Right. And kind of when you're making these videos, it's not this long drawn out process. Quick, get to the point. Here's what it is. Here's how it's going to help you. Here's what you should be doing now, right, to get ready, because this is a new kind of boom that we're on, and we're just able to kind of get on this tech wave, and ride the wave out, right? So when I was looking at these programs, there was a lot of programs online that said, these boot camps that are 12 weeks long, that are you have to, they're kind of full-time boot camps. They're full-time, Monday through Friday. You have to be at every workshop, right? And I was kind of looking for something more self-paced. And so obviously the YouTube drew me in, and then looking at your program, it appeared it was 12 weeks, which is, I think, is a really good content, I guess, length.
Yeah.
And then I realized that it was self-paced. And because for me, I had a full-time job, I have a family. I can't lock into this 12-week hardcore boot camp. I
Full
need to
time.
be able
Yeah.
to do I need to be able to do self-paced stuff. And I liked how concise your videos were. Again, they're not like these lengthy 30-minute theory-based PowerPoint lessons on cloud. It's like, hey, here's cloud, here's what it is, here's how you can get into this job, this
Mm.
role. And then, obviously it makes sense. If you showcased your experience to me. And I think that me as a professional already in kind of this professional industry, is I want to learn from another professional. I want to know that you know what you're talking about, and based off your video qualities and the content and the way that you edit, I knew that. I think if that's how your YouTube is, I can only imagine what your academy was. So
Yeah.
I really took a chance, right? Because I just really enjoy people that go above and beyond to make sure that their content is premium.
Yeah. And then when you joined and you went through the academy, and how did you balance that? Because a lot of people are working full time, they've got commitments, and they're like, "Oh, can I do self-paced learning?" What's the, I guess, the disadvantage of A, not upskilling, right? What are your thoughts on that? But also, B, how do you balance it, right? You've got family, like you said, you've got a full-time job, helicopter pilot, you're probably flying at random times. Like, how did you find that balance of upskilling, but also what was the risk of you not upskilling?
Yeah, so I I really I come from a background, a military background where if you need to achieve something, you're going to do it no matter what. Now, I know some people don't come from military, but I've always had that kind of mindset that once I set a goal for myself, I designate certain times throughout my day that they're non-negotiable to get after it.
Mm,
So for me, it was one of those things where, okay, yes, I have family, yes, I have a full-time job, but where are the gaps in my schedule? I can go through my day and calculate how many minutes I'm scrolling through LinkedIn or YouTube,
yeah.
and that's, an hour right there. And I think that some people don't realize that there are times throughout the day that you can set aside, just even if it's an hour to 2 hours a day. And I like this quote from one of a military veteran. He wrote a book. He said, "Success is nothing more than the sum of small efforts performed daily." Right. So even if it's just a little bit every single day, no matter what, I was locked in. So I think for me, the you have to budget time just like you would budget money. It's
Mm,
just as important as budgeting money. And then as far as the upskilling side of things is in the US, I don't know how it is for other countries, but most of the job descriptions and the requirements require you to have this kind of laundry list of skills, some of them even certifications, where I'm like, I need to make sure that I kind of prioritize those and upskill accordingly. What
mm,
is the minimum things that I need to kind of get myself in the door? And that's why I think the certifications, as far as like some of the jobs I noticed as certifications, were a big factor, as well as your academy syllabus hit all of those things, right? The CI/CD pipelines, the infrastructure as code, basically what is cloud and how
yeah.
it's going to benefit businesses, because you do need to know the theory as well if you're going to be working with cloud. So I
Mm.
think all of those boxes were checked for me.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that was a key thing when I made the curriculum. It's like, what does the industry say you need? But what do I think you need as well, based on my decade of experience of consulting, private, public companies, independent consulting as well, right, for my own businesses. So I thought, okay, what do these companies need? Okay, how can we then make a curriculum based off that? And yeah, I like that you said that the curriculum was really concise because the whole point of learning something is to learn as much as possible, but as fast as possible. So like how much can I just put into the content? So it doesn't take you 5 years to learn, right? You want the result fast. You want to learn what you need to learn, right? And I apply the 80/20 principles and I do that for everything, right? We just launched a new module, the first principles engineering module. So have you done that yet? How have you found that?
Yeah, I've looked through it. It's one of those things that really surprised me because I don't, I don't see anybody doing it. And when we talk about being exceptional in a role, people don't cover kind of like the mindset side of things.
Mm,
And so when I went through that module, it really kind of impressed me even more because it's not just about having the technical skills, it's about having that kind of above and beyond mentality to figure out what is the problem and what's the solution and how are we gonna implement this kind of more with kind of a plan of attack.
mm,
People don't think about that. They think about, I just need the hard coding skills and I need to be able to just basically use my computer, but they're not talking about how to work with a team, how to think outside the box, how to implement these solutions efficiently and cost effectively. Those are things that I think are vital in the industry that even if you don't have 10 years of or 5 years of technical experience, if you just have that mentality and you can speak it to an employer, that's going to speak loads more value or to who you are as a person, to be able to have that mentality and say, listen, I'm not super technically sound yet, but I know how to approach solutions in a different way that most people are not thinking of.
Yeah, because that's a big differentiation. Because when everyone has the same skills, right? If everyone has AWS, Terraform, CI/CD, right? What can the students from the academy have that no one else will have? And it's the first principles engineering blueprint, right? It makes them think different, build different, right? And see different, right? So we're changing people's beliefs. How do you approach problems, right? And no one's teaching you that, right? I can guarantee you, no one on the market, not even universities that the people paying 50, 100, $200,000 for, is giving you the way to think and solve problems, right? And that's what makes the academy, I would say, the best there is on the market. And it's only getting better because we're always updating with new content. But yeah, so should we reveal what happened when you joined the academy, what you did, and then, you know, got hired by myself and the team?
Yeah. So, I mean, going back to how do you how do you kind of budget time accordingly, or how do you succeed, and how did I succeed in the academy? Again, locking into a goal. It started off with that comment on YouTube saying, "Hey, is there a chance I can work with you?" And if there was 1% chance, I'm going to go all into that chance.
Hmm.
So my advice to the students going through this academy, kind of what I did is I set that goal. I set the time budget accordingly. I locked in every single day, and I made sure that I was recognized and visible throughout the community from day one. I said, how do I differentiate myself from all of the other students in the academy? So, anytime that there was an exercise that said, hey, do this, I took it one step further, right? Whether it was you didn't expect me to deploy the application, you just build the architecture and make a documentation. Well, I went above and beyond, said, hey, here's the app. And
Yeah.
then I also put myself on YouTube, right? Because I didn't have a channel, but I said,
Mm.
how do I, again, people are just writing Medium articles. How do I go above and beyond? So now I'm going to deploy the application, and then I'm going to film a video on it, and then I'm going to post it. And I was basically following your blueprint saying, hey, we want to see you doing things in the academy, being active, and then posting on LinkedIn, posting on Medium. So that's what I did. So I also wrote the articles. I also filmed a video, and yeah, I just kind of locked in. Now, I I wanted to make sure that I did this as efficiently as possible, and I really just made sure that as I went through, not only was because I did the academy in 6 weeks, even though it's a 12-week program, but I was very disciplined with my time. And I think people can do this as well. I'm not saying that everybody, like, it's 6 weeks of content, but for me, I made sure that my time was efficiently managed, because if you're rushing through something, you may not retain the information.
Mm.
So I made sure that as I was doing this, I was retaining the information, making sure that I understood the information. And I think it showed. And I also like that your academy has kind of like a leaderboard. It's a little bit of a gamification thing, because for me, it really drove me to be on the top of the leaderboard every single week.
Yeah.
And so the more that I showed up, the more I was contacted by you, the more I was contacted by Ben. And it was that really fueled me to keep going, because that showed me that you guys are also vested in your students. You actually said, hey, like, really, really like what you're doing, keep it up. And I was like, okay, perfect. Like, they're actually recognizing me, which gave me that kind of that final motivation, that final push. So when I set that deadline to kind of finish the academy, I launched this end of the year
Yeah.
capstone project, basically. And it was a massive project that basically encapsulated every single thing that I learned in the academy from week one.
Mm.
And I launched it. I posted it on LinkedIn. It was an amazing, video. And I think that kind of resonated with you, obviously. And then just about a month later, you basically said, hey, man, need a little bit of help with the academy. What do you think? Do you want to come on board? And here I am.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the key, right? I always keep an eye out for people that are enthusiastic, right? Good energy, right? Committed, focus. And I could just tell from the first time, I think Ben sent me one of the YouTube videos. Like, hey, like this guy's making YouTube videos. And I thought, hang on a minute, hey, what's the YouTube videos about? Right. Then I looked at it and I was thought, goodness me, this is one of our students, right? And I was blown away. And I thought, wow, this is the impact the Academy is having. It's inspiring people to take action, document, create content. It's like it just blew me away. And then since then, I've started to pay way more attention. Okay, what are you up to? What are you doing? How can we help you more? So yeah, it's a great case study for all the other students because now what we're doing, right? Every time we have our onboarding for new students every week, we go through and we say, hey, there's three different levels to your academy experience, right? How do you get the most out of the academy? You got level one, level two, and level three. And we always say to get 100% out of the academy, you got to be like Alex, right? You got to be visible, you got to be present, you got to go over and beyond, you got to be consistent, right? And then, opportunities will come to you that you weren't expecting, right? And now you're a big part of the team. You're helping with the workshops, you're helping with new content, you're helping with the consulting, right? So big part of the team. And that wouldn't have happened had you not, you know, took the chance to join the academy, right? That was the first step, taking action, right? And then once you've taken action to keep going, right? And actually getting through the content, being visible, being on top of the leaderboard, being different, right? And here you are today. Now, what's some advice that you'd have for people looking to break into the cloud and they're not sure? Or what about people that are like on the fence and they don't know whether to, you know, commit to learning something new like cloud engineering or want to learn more about the cloud academy, engineering academy? Like, what do you have to say to them?
Yeah, I would say in this industry in tech, what I have found is it's very vast and it's only growing every single day. And I think that you can get caught up in all of the different things that you can do. And there's cybersecurity and there's network engineer and data analyst and AI and all of these different things. And then even within those categories, there's like a multitude of different roles. And I think that if you get caught up in oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. And then you kind of just lock into something and you try it out. You're kind of doing yourself a disservice. I think for me, I knew what I liked because I kind of had a little bit of exposure to the cloud and building a project on the cloud. For me, I was like, this, I like this. This makes sense. I would say find a YouTuber that you like, hint, hint, find a
Yeah.
YouTuber you like and try to kind of get a little bit more information on what this is. What is this role? What is cloud engineering? What is AI engineering? Whatever it is. And just kind of take a deep dive and watch some videos, really know what the role is, what the duties and responsibilities are. And if it's something that resonates with you, go all in. Don't just, don't give 50% because even though you say, I don't know if this is right for me, you're never going to know if it's right for you until you give it your all and see the end, right? Get into the role, at least get into the role. And guess what? If you get into the role and you spend a year, 2 years, and you say, this isn't for me, at least you now have the experience. Because I know some people that I've talked to are coming completely from, like me, not coming from a tech role. The fact that you have this experience, you get into an academy, you actually land a job, that speaks volumes. The fact that you were able to do that, and not only does it show on your resume and your LinkedIn that you're willing to put in the grind, it also helps you validate the fact that you can do it. Now,
Yeah.
if you say, "Hey, this isn't for me," okay, I finished one kind of path, but now I know what I would do differently to go to a different path. Maybe I want to go cyber this time. I have this kind of proven track that I can do it. And that would be my suggestion. And then to kind of cap all of that, to summarize, when there is somebody that has done it more than you or is a professional, take their advice. For example, in this situation right here, you were working in tech for a decade. I wanted to learn from somebody that actually had boots on the ground, right? Actual physical working in tech. And I want to learn from you because if you are a professional in the industry, you know more than me. So I'm
Mm.
going to sit back. I'm going to stay quiet. I'm
Yeah.
going to take notes and
Yeah.
I'm going to lock in. And I'm not going to say, well, I don't know if I'm going to do it this way or that way. Because just what I would suggest is find somebody, like I said, that you resonate with. And if they're a professional, just follow them and just take their advice because I took your advice every step of the way. And I remember just before you hired me, I asked you a question because we had hopped on a call just before I launched my final project. I said, hey, so by the way, I don't know what do I need to do to kind of lock in a job with you? And you said to me, I remember you said, just keep building because
Mm.
you saw me building projects. And I remember as soon as you said that to me, I was like, okay, well, here we go. I have something for you. And I built this massive project. I'm like, all right, he said, build a project. Here it is, and I
Yeah.
just wanted to show that, okay, if you tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. So yeah, just find something that resonates with you, lock into it, give it 100% of your effort. Even if you have a job, even if you have a family, there is time that you can allot during your day to make sure that you're getting after it and just take the advice of people that have done it before you. It's networking is the biggest thing in my opinion to be on the road to success because a lot of people out there are willing to help you. And especially in this academy, I think that that was probably one of the biggest kind of things that made me stay and made me keep going is the community. I joined when we had like 300 people and now we're almost at like 400 people. And the fact that I can just get on in a moment's notice and ask for help and say, hey, like, has anybody had this issue before? What about this? There's people that are actually working in tech that are in the academy that have experience. And I'm like, man, like just having that community of people is massive as well. So don't feel like you're alone in it. Make sure that you lock into a
Yeah.
community that's gonna help you and especially the owners and the people that are working in the academy that want to see you succeed. That's only gonna make your journey that much easier.
Yeah, for sure. And I always say that if someone joins the academy and they listen from top to bottom to exactly what we say, follows the blueprint, comes to the live coaching calls, takes on the feedback, and then takes the action, they'll be within just a matter of months, they'll be in a new role, right? I know the reason I hired you is because I knew if I don't hire you, someone else will. And I thought, you know what? I need this guy in my team because I know you can get hired by any company that you would like to get hired by. So I thought, you know what? People like this needs to be part of my own team. And that's something I always look out for. Now, Jay Martinez, right? He did the same. What did he do? He came to all the sessions, he asked all the questions, he was taking notes on the live calls, and then he's putting it into practice. Guess what? He got hired. I mean, so it's like if you come, you listen, you take action, you'll get results. Now, what do you think? You've already said the community is great, but like, how confident are you now you're on this side? How confident are you that students can come in if they take action, listen to the feedback, and get the results? Like,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, it's really it's amazing to be on this side
Mm,
because now I get to work closely with those students that are actually winning and seeing student success every day. And then even since I got hired, seeing people actually get jobs. And even currently, as we speak, I have interviews coming up.
mm,
It is, and these people are coming from all kinds of different backgrounds, different experience levels. Some a student that I really kind of wanted to mentor a lot because he was kind of struggling. He didn't really know how to do interviews. He wasn't confident in himself. He didn't know how to do these projects. And sure enough, he's got a third round interview coming up. And that just speaks volumes to what we are doing now in the academy to help those people because we have the support, we have the content, we have what you need at the bare minimum. I would even say more than the minimum just to get you hired
mm.
because a lot of people think they have to have all of these boxes checked to get a job. And it's not that way. We see, we see people now that are in week 5 or 6 in the academy that are applying for roles and getting interviews.
Yeah,
And it's crazy. And the
yeah,
thing is, like, it's just it also comes down to not just the academy, but it's the confidence
Mm.
that we try to instill in the students. Because if you're not willing to take a chance and put yourself out there and apply for jobs and interview, you're going to miss opportunities. So I think, to answer your question, the academy is what you need. I think that the academy, if you are motivated enough and you truly want this, you will get a job. It's only a matter of time. And we're here. That's why I love the academy before I even joined, is because the support is there.
Yeah.
No matter what, you'll have access to being able to message people like you or myself that can help you and give you advice to take you to the next level, whether that's helping you with interview questions or maybe clarifying some content that doesn't make sense or
Mm.
helping you build a project. That type of stuff, that's what we're here for. And
Yeah.
that's what I love about the community, because it's not just a community to make money. It's a community to make people, like, change people's lives and get them that dream role that they've never thought they could achieve.
Yeah. And that's one of the biggest things I'm proud of is like the community that we've built inside the academy. Like I just literally just finished a community call, Q&A call. There's about 25 students from the cohort that joined. And yeah, we're just bouncing ideas. We was looking at job listings on LinkedIn, um, talking about personal branding, making content, like just a great conversation with the students. And then earlier this week, right, this whole week, we've had live coaching calls, right? We've had architecture session, we've had cloud fundamentals, we had a Q&A today. This weekend, there's like a community-driven weekend project that we're running. So like this is the biggest community, right? And the best community. And yeah, people are getting results, and that's what ultimately matters the most. I just spoke to someone. I looked at his LinkedIn, and he got hired last month at Disney in engineering. And I thought,
Wow.
dude, like, why do you not speak up and tell everyone about the result? You know, and there's loads of people getting wins, right? That's 400, actually 500 students in the academy, and it's obviously not everyone is sharing their wins. Some people just they've come on, gone through the content, they got the value, they've taken action, and they got hired, and you know that's it. That's what they want to do. So yeah, there's a lot of students that we just not been able to catch up with who are in new roles already, which is incredible. So yeah, just to get understanding, like where do you see your career progressing now over the next few years, giving your new set of skills? What are some skill sets that you're doubling down on? Like where's your head at now?
Yeah, well, the industry, I don't think anybody can argue, is going heavily towards AI and security, in my opinion. We see it every single day with these new things that are coming out, and I think security specifically speaks to me. I also kind of like the solutions architect side of things, because I feel like I can talk to people, I can provide business solutions, and the technology is expanding at an exponential rate. And I don't think that there is enough security being implemented to secure all of this tech. And so right now, obviously, I'm locked in with you. I'm excited to see where we go in the consultancy space, and I just want to double down on the cloud. Right? Even though the cloud is very expansive, I can double down on the technical skills inside of cloud, like AI and security. And those are two things that I think are massive to be able to lock into, because it is new. Security has always been there,
Mhm.
but who's securing AI? Because AI is running rampant right now. And I think that there was I forget who the CEO was. One of the CEOs on Shark Tank basically said, if I was to give any advice to like my kids, I
Mm.
would say learn AI. And
Yeah.
he's like one of the biggest, multimillionaires, multi-billionaires, whatever, entrepreneurs. And he even said, just learn AI, because AI is taking over. So for me, doubling down on the tech, doubling down on this academy and working with you, because I like working with professional, top-notch people, right? And so I'm excited to see where we go, like I said. So that's kind of where my head's at. And yeah, just especially in tech, before I even started this program, a lot of people on YouTube basically said the same thing. I think you even said it. You, in this industry, you do not stop learning.
Yeah.
There is always something to learn. You're always going to, there's going to be new technologies, new software that you're going to have to learn, different ways to implement projects. It's just part of the process. So I'll never stop learning, obviously. But yeah, I think it's going to be great. AI security for me.
Yeah, yeah. And you just exposed our plans, building an AI security company. So anyway, we might cut this out.
Yeah.
It's all good. Cool. Just to wrap up then, is there anything else you want to share um, with everyone watching? Any last minute advice of people being on the fence, wanting to take action? Yeah, some nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah, just do it. Just don't wait. Don't say I'll decide tomorrow. I'll decide in a week. Just do it. I appreciate every all of the opportunities that I've been given, and every single opportunity that I've been given, I have taken action on it. I never kind of sat back and said, "Well, if this doesn't work, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do." It's
Mm,
just go after it. And I know that's easier said than done for most people, especially when you have, a 9 to 5 job and then you come home with kids and a wife and you barely have time to sleep. I know it's hard. It's, like I said, a lot easier said than done. But what I would say is just try to budget your time, just like you budget your money and your finances, and just take action. Just do it. Because at the end of the day, no matter how long it takes you, whether it takes you 12 weeks or 1 year or 2 years, it's going to be worth it in the end. I mean, think about this. You can get this academy done if you really lock into it in 12 weeks, and you could have a full-time tech job making about the same money as you would as if you went out of university for 4 years. I
mm.
mean, people don't realize that. People are like spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on university for 4 years. And then sometimes they come out and don't even have a job. You can, and I mean, and if you have a family and you have a full-time job and you're going to uni, like you need to be like, not going to university and then going to excuse me, sorry, going to the academy, right? You need to be going to some sort of workshop or academy.
Yeah, amazing. Cool. That was really helpful. Great for you to share the story. Um, and yeah, like it's amazing having you part of the team, you know. So looking forward to where we go from here. And yeah, this will be up on YouTube probably tomorrow. So it'll be up, it'll be live. You're going to get a lot of people reaching out to you, right? And when they do, obviously, then just get into the academy. So, we get more students and then we can give you some commission on top.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah. But I think from all the other students that have been on the channel, right? Mac, Jay, um, Matt as well. Like they've been getting bombarded with people reaching out to them and wanting to learn more about what they did, how they've done it. So yeah, just take some time out to share some wisdom with them too when they reach out to you. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
cool, cool. Well, yeah, listen, great to speak to you. I'll probably speak to you straight after this because we've got work to do. But yeah,
Yeah.
time coming, right? You've been working with us since the start of the year. It's now April, so like 4 months, and we've only just got time to do this testimonial just because the story is incredible, right? From just putting a comment on my channel on a video to being hired less than 12 months later. It's just incredible. So yeah, well done. And yeah, this is going to inspire a lot of people.
Yeah. We have a lot of work to do. So
Yeah,
people are going to have to stick around and stay tuned for that.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Nice one, dude. Take it easy.
All right. See ya.
All right.